In this video, we're going to be talking about flexing some of the families that are non-performance based. So no performance table means that most of the values that have been set up in the families, you're able to edit and duplicate and modify pretty easily, either in Family Editor or right in the project. So let's talk about a couple different cases here. So I'm going to start off with something simple, like a small fan. Here's a Greenheck SQ100 fan that we have recreated with their geometry. So we have, an in and out. Let's say this is going to be an exhaust fan. Let's create a duct system. Okay, so I'm going to draw a duct from here. So, the standard inline fan configuration is a discharge on this side of the fan. However, there is unique conditions where you can have a left or right discharge. So you can have a whole bunch of variations. So say you needed to modify that. Well, in this case, I'm going to edit the type. And we'll duplicate it and call this one side discharge. And now all of your arm parameters are in dimensions here. So here's the inlet and outlet controlling parameters. The outlet here, instead of the front face, let's put it on the left face. Guess I'm going to have to hit OK. And just like that, we move the connector over to that side of the family. So no extra connectors needed in the family. You can also edit, of course, your outlet duct size and width at that point. Let's see, our equipment length is 1 foot 9. So maybe I'm going to put the width at 1.5. So you can update that geometry very easily on the fly. Okay, so it's something simple, a little exhaust fan experiment. Let me finish my duct here. There we go. Let's look at a furnace. So I'm going to place a furnace here. So we have some, these families are modeled based on Trane's dimensions. Let's place this. So let's say, there's another type you need or another size. And the geometry potentially is going to change as well as some connections. It's very simple to essentially take this, create a new type. Generic bigger unit. So under dimensions, we can flex the overall shape of this. So I'm going to make this 30 inches wide. Length, let's make it 36 inches. And height, we'll keep the same. So the electrical connector, we can move that around if we want. The fuel connector, we can move that around if you want. I kind of wish this family would update, as you're working on it, but it doesn't look like that's the case. All right, so now the outlet duct connection. Let's say this outlet duct connection, or sorry, the inlet, the return, instead of the left face, we're going to put it on the right face. So we can keep it the same size. We can modify the size. We can change our reference point and edit our X, Y, and Z if we need to. I'm going to hit OK right there. And there's our larger unit now. You know, so I'd edit the X, Y, and Z for this outlet. So why don't I just do that so this looks a little better. All right, so the outlet is coming from the back left corner. Let's say it's coming from the origin. So now X, I'm not going to move right or left, but Y, we're going to move it back a little bit. Let's see, it's 20 inches. Let's try minus 12 inches to start here. Okay, so we're coming from, oh, I want to go the other direction, sorry, positive Y. Let's go 6 inches. So we're moving, the origin's right at this point, the center of the family. There we go. You know, our return, we could update the size if we need to. Inlet duct height, maybe this is now 20 inches. And the Z coordinate, let's raise up to 16 inches. And, you know, the clearances you could modify. We could edit the new model number and manufacturer. And then under other, we can adjust these clearances as need be. Maybe this particular unit, it has some clearance on the left side. Let's put that at a foot. And let's hit apply. And there you go. We just basically created this family. Let's say, for example, this was going to be mounted horizontally, and so we want the connector on the bottom of the unit. One way to do that, so these are all non-face-based families, so you can just rotate them. Let's create a section here. Whoops, wrong button. So this family now I'm going to rotate on its side and we'll move it up. Okay, so our outlet's up here. Let's move this up. So we're at 10 feet now. And now let's move the return connector to the bottom. So we're going to edit the type. We'll go down to dimensions. And now inlet duct, instead of right face, we're going to choose bottom face. And I'm going to use the same origin as the top connector here. So 0 and 6 inches and 0. Let's hit apply. And there we go. Now we've got a furnace that can be installed horizontally. So we can make our duct connections. So once again, with some of these families, this connector for return may be a global connector if it's a situation where the family might have exhaust, in which case you'd want to define it. But this right now we can just start drawing from, and we're good to go. You know, and now I'm going to turn that clearance off of that other side on that unit. And then let's see if it's a type parameter or not. Yeah, so then we'll, and this is more for just filling in the schedule purposes, but this would be a horizontal installation. In due time, you know, I could see these being instance parameters, which would do all this work on the fly, but these families aren't set up to do that at the moment. So you can feel free to do that as well. So that's the intent with these families. They should be very, very easy to modify and flex and duplicate and create more content. So as long as you guys learn one arm, you'll know all the arms and you'll be able to move anything anywhere you want. Thanks.